For most fish, coral reefs are just a home. For bumphead parrotfish, they're food. Their teeth are fused into a beak, ideal for biting off chunks of living coral and encrusting algae. They sometimes use the bump on their head to ram corals and break them up. They can weigh 50 kilos, so they pack quite a punch. The hard parts of the coral are ground up and pass through the fish's gut, coming out the other end as sand. The reef may be scarred by the grazing, but the corals grow fast in these sunlit waters. For cuttlefish, Indonesia's reefs are both a hunting ground and a safe place to lay their eggs. They hide them in deep crevices in the coral. These extraordinary creatures are the chameleons of the sea. Their skin has thousands of tiny sacs of pigment which can expand or contract to give an almost instantaneous change of color. You can tell when a female has just laid an egg. She turns white, perhaps a signal to her attendant male. After they're laid, the eggs absorb water and expand. That wedges them firmly into the coral and makes them hard to dislodge. But new-laid eggs are still loose, so they're vulnerable to long-nosed predators, like butterfly fish. Reefs are a place to feed and a place to breed. They can also be a place to hide. Little fish escape the attentions of larger hunters by sheltering in nooks and crannies, too tight for pursuers to enter. Bigger fish must devise other means of defense. They gather in huge shoals, hundreds, even thousands. If hunters like tuna attack them, there'll be safety in numbers. It's hard for a predator to pick a target in this crowd. Even if a hunter does single one out, the twists and turns of the shoal distract the pursuer. There's another hunter on the reef, but this one's slower and more cunning. While tuna rely on speed, the cuttlefish hunts by stealth. The reason for those shimmering changes in pattern isn't known. They could be camouflage against a wave-rippled background, or perhaps they mesmerize and distract the prey. Whatever their effect, this is a hunter that seldom misses its target. It seizes its prey with a pair of modified tentacles. Its strike is one of the fastest movements in the animal kingdom. When hunting is over, the cuttlefish changes its dinner dress. The bumphead parrotfish have ended their meal too. They have ground the coral into fine sand. Parrotfish can be major contributors to the build-up of sand. Sand provides a home for garden eels. These sinuous fish are plankton eaters. They rely on ocean currents to bring them food, but they keep their tails firmly anchored in the sand, ready to retreat into their burrows if danger threatens. With so many pairs of eyes on watch, any hunter would have to be very fast. Or very well camouflaged. A flounder would eat an eel, but first he has to catch it. On these scattered islands, people reap a harvest from both land and sea. Many believe that bounty flows from the goddess of the sea, Niali, especially on the island of Sumba.